happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you're definitely gonna want to check this one out, guys. It looks like the whole bring Kilmar Abrego-Garcia back to the United States crew is finally getting what they wanted, as the known criminal migrant gang member is now en route on his way back to the United States to potentially face prosecution. I'm excited to get into this one, so we're gonna hop straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
You know, I will never apologize for defending the Constitution. In fact, it's the Trump administration and all his cronies who should apologize to the country for putting us through this unnecessary situation, and to Abrego-Garcia for putting him through this situation and his family. All I have said from the beginning is that the Trump administration should respect the rule of law and the Constitution of the United States. So really, it's President Trump who should apologize to the country for violating his oath to the Constitution. I'm glad in this moment they're finally doing what the Supreme Court said, but they continue, Anderson, to violate the Constitution in many, many other cases.
Senator Van Hall.
You know, I will never apologize.
Okay, that was almost laughable. That was the same Senator Chris Van Hollen, the one who traveled down to see Abrego-Garcia when he was detained. He got deported, and now he's saying that President Donald Trump should apologize to this criminal migrant gang member, Kilmar Abrego-Garcia. Get out of here. These loonies on the left have truly lost it when it comes to this case. It doesn't stop there. We got Jessica Tarloff, old whiny Jess, chiming in saying that Kristi Noem told us they couldn't bring Kilmar Abrego back to the United States, and it looks like they lied again.
Jessica from the White House right now through Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary. She issued a statement on the breaking news. The Justice Department's grand jury indictment against Abrego-Garcia proves the unhinged Democratic Party was wrong, and their stenographers and the fake news media were once again played like fools.
No, I disagree wholeheartedly. And Caroline Leavitt, as well as other members of the Trump administration, from the president himself to Kristi Noem, lied to the American people when they said that they couldn't bring him back. So we can't do that. It's up to Bukele. Well, I guess you could get him back. And I do think it is a victory for the rule of law that he will go, he'll have his due process, and then he'll probably end up in a jail. And then after that's done, then he'll be deported if it turns out that this is true. But they should now systematically go through the list and start with Andre Hernandez and all the other people who are alleged to be innocent of anything, not convicted of any crimes, and bring them back and let them have their day in court. Just put them in front of an immigration judge and do it the legal way. You say we're a party of lawyers. I don't think that's as embarrassing as you think, and you would probably do better if you had more high-quality lawyers in your party.
Lawyers are...
Okay, all right, Jess has lost it all. I mean, this guy had his day in court. I think it was almost 2 to 3 times. Kilmar Abrego sat in front of a deportation court judge, and guess what? They said this guy had to go back. He's not supposed to be in the United States. They're still vouching for these criminal gang member migrants to stay in our country. It makes no sense. We can't forget the spin on this whole story when it first came out. I got an example of how they portrayed this man as an innocent Maryland father. When the story first dropped, this is Rachel Madcow, and the way that she pictured Kilmar Abrego-Garcia's deportation.
You might remember on Friday we showed you people protesting outside a federal courthouse in Maryland. That was during a court hearing on the case of a Maryland father, a man named Kilmar Abrego-Garcia. He was driving to his mother's house with his nonverbal autistic 5-year-old son in the car with him when he was stopped and arrested. The Trump administration then flew him to a notorious high-security prison in El Salvador, despite a previous court order specifically forbidding them from sending him to that country. He's not known to be a member of this Venezuelan gang that Trump said he wanted to send all the gang members to that prison. He does not have a criminal record.
All right, you guys, so that was just a little, I wanted to go back in time, a little flashback, a little refresher on how the lamestream media, they covered this whole story. saying this guy is not a criminal, but I've got footage that shows otherwise. And here is that. I'm just going to briefly skim through it. This traffic stop by Tennessee Highway Patrol, it states clearly otherwise. This guy got stopped with 9 passengers inside of his van coming from Texas, somewhere close to the southern border, I would say. Traveling from Texas all the way back to Maryland, and he says he's got to do a job. Okay, let's just run that through real quick, and then let's get the Tennessee Highway Patrol, their response or their reaction.
Got a bunch of people here, don't you?
It's 1 for 6. Yes. Go back to work.
Gotcha. Where are you working at?
Where?
Where?
San Luis, Missouri.
Missouri?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I'm from Maryland.
Okay. Now the reason I stopped you, we was running 75 down through here.
75?
Yeah. Of course, this is 65 through here.
I know. I'm going to 70.
Going 70?
Yeah. What's the limit right now? Is 70 or 65?
It's 65.
I can see, sir.
You got all your
Because
info?
I see the other, the speed limit. I see the 70.
Yeah, it jumps up.
Okay, so I don't want to play. I'm not going to play it for, just to save us some time. I'm not going to play the full clip, but I am going to go to this key piece right here where the Tennessee Highway Patrol veteran officer comes in and says, you know what you got here, right? You got you a smuggler. Look at him. He's a coyote. Check this out. Seasoned vet comes out. He could spot from a mile away exactly what was going on. Just listen to it.
You know what you got, right? You know what you got here, right?
No.
He's hauling these people for money, is what he's doing. But sometimes they commingle dope.
No. But
He,
squatted back in there.
there's 8 people in there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that. They put an extra row of seats in there.
Yeah. So he's getting paid to haul these people, probably to Maryland, I would say, if I had my guess.
He said that.
He's getting paid to haul these people. You know what you got here, right? Got a hauler. He's getting paid to haul these people. He's got 8 different folks inside of this van coming from the Texas southern border up to Maryland. Then he lies and said he's going to Missouri. This is no innocent man that we're talking about here. This is a known trafficker, a known smuggler. And these folks want to keep going up to bat for him. But it doesn't stop there. The evidence for this guy or against this guy is overwhelming. Let me get you guys. This is Kilmar Abrego-Garcia's wife freezing on air and refusing to answer why she asked for a protective order against him in 2021. Okay, let's check it out.
I have to ask it. You did take out a temporary order of protection against your husband in 2021. Were you in fear of your husband?
My husband is alive. That's all I can say.
Okay, and I'm not going to push on that apparently. But how much hope after?
Okay, so you can see that she's visibly shook. She freezes up, doesn't even know how to answer the question. This is the wife of Kilmar Abrego-Garcia, not even able to answer the question when it comes to the protective order that she got against him in 2021. But wait, it does not stop there, folks. We've got even more evidence. This is an audio recording of the wife of Kilmar Abrego-Garcia again, depicting her begging a judge for a protective order against her abusive husband. Well, let's just listen out really quickly.
Came to fill out a protective order. I think it was in December. But I didn't show up to the court because his family washed my brain telling me that his dad was sick and not to do it. So I didn't do anything. But after that, it was I would call the police. I have a lot of police reports, and I kept trying to get to the door basement to try to open the door, and then he pushed me. So then when I was able to go outside to get a phone, I called 911 from a disconnected phone. Now they took a long time to get to the house. It was probably 20-30 minutes. So I saw a neighbor walking his dog, and I opened the door and I was like, help. And then when he heard me, he grabbed me from my hair and then he slapped me. And then the neighbor, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to react. I have pictures of the evidence, all the bruises, because even on Wednesday, he hit me around 3 in the morning. He would just wake up and hit me. And then last Saturday for my daughter's birthday party, before I went to my daughter's birthday party, he slapped me 3 times. And then last week I did call the police. My sister called the police because he hit me in front of my sister.
So this man was a known wife beater, domestic violence, domestic abuse, or whatever you want to call it, trafficker, human smuggler, whatever you want to call it there. And they're still going up to bat for this man. The evidence there is overwhelming, but I just want to give you guys the cherry on top. Another piece of evidence against this dirtbag. Holy crap. This from Nick Sorter on X, by the way. Say, holy crap, the ex-husband of Kilmar Abrego-Garcia's wife said in a 2018 court filing he was worried for his kids' lives because she was dating a quote-unquote gang member. Yet more evidence that the man deported to El Salvador was in fact a violent gang member. The Democrats lied to you. It's right here. I'm going to pull that up. And I wish I could make this a little bigger. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger for you guys to see. All right, so right here, this is Edwin. It's really tough to read his penmanship. Edwin Trego, I want to say Ramos, against the defendant, Jennifer Vasquez. So it sounds like he has kids with her as well, and he was scared for her to bring the kids around Abrego-Garcia because of his violent nature and him being in a gang. I'm going to read his testimony really quickly. It says the undersigned party is acting to safeguard the children/child who are in physical custody of Jennifer Vasquez. The child/children are in serious danger at this time because she tried to herself and she left the kids with 11-year-old to take care of them. And I'm afraid of my kids' lives are in danger. I'm so sorry. It's hard to read this. He says, and I'm afraid of my kids' lives are in danger because she is dating a gang member. I mean, come on. It's all right here. The Dems keep trying to say this is an innocent Maryland man, father of 4, father of 3, whatever you call it. I mean, this guy is a gang member, a criminal migrant gang member. He has committed so many crimes within our country, yet you guys are still crying his head. He hasn't had enough due process. We want to see him in front of at least one more judge. Just one more judge, please. Like, what do you mean? It's all right there. Pam Bondi, though, she said she's had enough. Pam Bondi's had enough. We got Nick Sorter again on X saying that. Breaking news. Pam Bondi officially announced that Kilmar Abrego-Garcia will be returned to the United States after the DOJ uncovered he made over 100 smuggling trips of illegals. A grand jury found human trafficking was Garcia's full-time job, and he frequently abused women. This is the Democrats' hero. Okay. See what Pam Bondi got to say. Hopefully she's finally getting the boots to the ground on this situation.
And conspiracy to commit alien smuggling in violation of Title 8 U.S.C. 1324. We want to thank President Bukele for agreeing to return Abrego-Garcia to the United States. Our government presented El Salvador with an arrest warrant, and they agreed to return him to our country. We're grateful to President Bukele for agreeing to return him to our country to face these very serious charges. This is what American justice looks like. Upon completion of his sentence, we anticipate he will be returned to his home country of El Salvador. The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrego-Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring. They found this was his full-time job, not a contractor. He was a smuggler of humans and children and women. He made over 100 trips, the grand jury found, smuggling people throughout our country. MS-13 members, violent gang terrorist organization members throughout our country. Thousands of illegal aliens were smuggled. This is especially disturbing because Abrego-Garcia is also alleged with transporting minor children. The defendant traded the innocence of minor children for profit. There are even more disturbing facts that the grand jury uncovered. It is alleged this defendant is part of the same smuggling ring responsible for the death of more than 50 migrants in 2021 after the tractor trailer overturned in Mexico. This is part of that same ring. The defendant abused undocumented alien females, according to co-conspirators, who were under his control while transporting them throughout our country. This defendant trafficked firearms and narcotics throughout our country on multiple occasions. They were using vehicles, SUVs, with added seats in the back, floors that had been ripped out, guns, narcotics, children, women, MS-13 members. That is what the grand jury found.
All right, so here's the breaking news coming down the pipeline. Says Fox News has obtained the DOJ indictment of a Maryland man, quote unquote Maryland man, Kilmar Abrego-Garcia, charging him with 8 U.S.C. 1324 federal human trafficking, alleging he smuggled illegal aliens in the U.S. from 2016 through 2015 as part of MS-13. It was filed on 5/21 and just unsealed. And here we have these or found with the indictment, I should say.
Made an appearance in federal court. I actually just walked out of that courthouse, and inside of the courthouse, the judge, Barbara Holmes, did say that he will not be arraigned today. He will be arraigned next week. And she says the reason for this is because of language barriers. She says he hasn't had enough time to go over that indictment with the interpreter, and that indictment was given in English. So that's why the arraignment will happen next week. But to give you some background on this here is a video of a traffic stop in 2022 in Putnam County. Troopers say Garcia had 9 people in this vehicle, but no charges were filed until now. He faces conspiracy to unlawfully transport illegal aliens for financial gain and unlawfully transporting illegal aliens for financial gain. Each charge carries a maximum of 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Attorney General Pam Bundy breaking down the case.
So we're bringing him back to the United States once more, and I know a lot of folks are just confused, concerned. I was very concerned when I first seen this. Like, is this guy possibly going to get off the hook? But we have folks on X suggesting a different plan, a different route for Kilmar Abrego-Garcia, pinpoint or highlighting back, pointing out Donald Trump's campaign promises. We got Brianna Moreo here on X saying that Kilmar Abrego-Garcia is officially back in U.S. custody and will face federal human trafficking charges in Tennessee. While on the campaign trail, President Trump said he'd support the death penalty for human traffickers. The only way this makes sense to me is if the administration is going to try and make an example out of Garcia, but that even feels like a reach. Let's see what Trump had to say.
That anyone caught trafficking children across our border receives the death penalty immediately, and that includes also for women, because women, as you know, are number 1 in trafficking. Children are actually number 2. That anyone.
Okay, all right. So that's President Donald Trump, and I mean, doesn't sound too far off. Donald Trump saying, "Hey, you guys want him back so bad? All right, let's go ahead and let him stand trial. Grand jury indictment in the state of Tennessee." They're not messing around. I would love to see how this is going. I can't wait to see how this is going to progress and play out. Maybe they are trying to, use Donald Trump's campaign trail promise to say he'd support the ultimate penalty for these human traffickers, making an example out of this, Democratic celebrity, Democratic hero, Abrego-Garcia. Then we have Alan Dershowitz weighing in saying that Abrego-Garcia's lawyer made a big mistake by pushing his return to the United States. This is a win-win for the Trump administration and those who support Donald Trump.
Big mistake, big blunder by his lawyers. His lawyers never, ever should have tried to bring him back to the United States. They should have filed a motion having him transferred from El Salvador or Nicaragua, where maybe there was some fear, to another place, say Argentina or Brazil. He might be a free man today if they had done that. Remember that he was ordered deported. The only flaw in the order was where he was sent, not whether he was sent. And so I think he may spend a long time in prison. If he's found guilty, he's presumed innocent. But if he's found guilty, he's going to spend a long time in prison complaining about his ideological, radical lawyers who made a hero out of him and try to get him back to the United States when that was not in his own self-interest. So lawyers made the most fundamental mistake a lawyer can make, putting ideology before the best interest of the client.
One quick bounce question, and then I'm coming to the gov. Professor, the idea of what America should have done with him. Why these charges from a traffic stop that didn't seem to amount to much when it happened, instead of challenging the stay of removal?
Well, they can do both. That's the problem with what the lawyers did. They're going to have a trial. If he's convicted, they're happy. But if he's acquitted, they can still bring the deportation charges because the standard of proof is very different in deportation charges. All they would have to do is deport him to a country where he could not make a plausible claim that he's in danger. So from the government's point of view, it's a win-win to do it this way.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. You heard it here first. Alan Dershowitz saying this is a win-win. Either way, this guy is going down. If he's found guilty, he's getting sentenced to federal prison. If he's acquitted, the administration, the DOJ, is still going to bring back that deportation order, have him sent to anywhere but El Salvador. They don't care. He's got to go anywhere but here in the United States. There was 2 different immigration court judges that said, hey, man, you can't be here. We got to send you back. And he was like, I fear for my life, my home country. The only stipulation that, the Trump administration, they violated was the fact that they sent him back to his home country. Other than that, this guy, his deportation order was green lighted, green stamped. I can't wait to see how this one progresses. This seems like one case that the libs, these loonies on the left, have really tried to just, push and throw into Donald Trump's face that he's disappearing folks. He's just kidnapping him and his ICE officials. They're just kidnapping folks randomly at large off the street. Like, no, that's not what's happening. These folks have had deportation orders, or either they're just here illegally. I mean, let's be real with ourselves. If Highway Patrol is stopping you for a simple traffic stop and you're a known illegal migrant, they run your information and it doesn't come back, or they run your information, it's like, okay, this person isn't supposed to be in the United States. And they call for ICE help and they have these folks detained and sent back. It's justice. There is no problem in that system right there. But these loonies on the left would beg to differ. They want to keep going up to bat for these known criminal migrants, these folks that came across our southern border illegally. You can't do that. And I hope they do set the tone with this whole case. Let these loonies on the left know that they're not running the show. It's the Trump administration that's ultimately in charge, guys. But definitely hop in the comment section. Comments are open. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.